Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here, doing a Barbarian Invasion online expansion battle for Rome Total War. It's a multiplayer battle. I command the Eastern Roman Empire, and my opponent is FLANKATTACK, in command of the Western Roman rebels. You can see our armies right there. I'll let you read that. Alright, so I am marching down, and you can see that my opponent only has 2 units visible, and they are deployed right near the red line. You can see right there he has a carriage ballista unit and also a German Imperial bodyguard unit right there, and that's where his general's at. As I march down the open field, I check out this hiding spot. It's a very popular one on this Italian lowlands map. As I got closer to it, I wasn't too surprised to discover that he had more hidden units right there, and that is 3 squadrons of various cavalry units right there. And you can guess where they're going. They're going right in the forest. So we're going to take a look at the forest and see what my opponent is doing. He is forming all of his troops in the corner. This is called corner camping. So he's making me march all this way down there into the forest. And I already know what to expect here. Since my opponent is corner camping in the forest, I do expect him to have units hidden behind my lines when I bash in against his corner camp. And there's really not much I can do about that. I'm not going to scour the entire forest before I attack. Anyways, about 15 minutes later, I finally make it to his position here. And I'm gonna advance, and finally I form my troops up, and now we're exchanging our javelins. As you can see, this is a huge money battle. I don't really like these, but since it was a barbarian invasion battle, I decided to join anyways. And he set it at huge, so this is slowing my computer down. Anyways, I'm gonna charge into his lines here. Since my opponent is just sitting in the very back there, I have to bring the war to him. And I'm happy to oblige. Alright, so I'm going to crash into his front lines there. And you can tell from the unit selection that I do have the edge in probably every department, because my opponent didn't bring as many infantry units as I did. He wasted some of his denarii on archers in that carriage ballista unit. But his cavalry is pretty decent. And so you can see our lines, we are bashing at each other. We both have comita first tenses on the front lines here. He has 6 and I have 6. But in addition to my comita tenses first cohorts, I also have 6 regular comita tenses. Whereas my opponent has different kinds of heavy infantry, but I don't think they're as good as my regular comita tenses. As I said, my opponent does have decent cavalry, but I don't think they're equal to my cataphracts. So my strategy is simple. I'm just going to engage my enemy's lines, and I do have to keep an eye out for his hidden units, because I do know that they are coming. And you can see in the very back, you can see his first set of horse squadrons coming out to launch hammer and nail strikes on my back line here. So I missed a few of his horse units as I slipped by my cataphracts in the back, but luckily that charge didn't rout my comita tenses, so I'm going to countercharge with my cataphracts. And that's not a good thing for his ambush units, because now his units are going to be ambushed. But look at this huge mess. There's a lot of lag just because this is set on huge. And you can see his horse units going against my cataphracts there. His guys are pretty heavily armored too, as you can see. But since I had the charge on them, that gave me the huge edge in that cavalry fight. So he just lost 2 squadrons right there. 2 healthy squadrons. And at about this point, I did see the rest of his hidden units coming out, and I was able to intercept them with my other cataphracts who were hiding in the forest as well, because I was anticipating his surprise attacks on me. You can see he also has a lot of horse squadrons inside his corner camp right there. So if I broke through at any point, I would have to contend with his horse reserve. But now he's rushing in some Auxilia Palatini. He's trying to stop my onrush of comita tenses. And you can see his archers firing at me. And in a big money battle, I think archers are a waste of money. So he could have easily gotten another comita tenses unit instead of an archer unit. But that said, he is pushing my guys back on the right flank here. But that's okay, I still have my horse reserves back there. If the situation gets really desperate, I'm going to countercharge. But I'm going to keep them hidden for now, just in case I see some more of his hidden units come out to attack me. But all those green flags, those are his units. And I think I have one committed tenses unit right there holding them back. But I wasn't too worried, because as I said, I do have my horse squadrons in the back waiting in reserve to countercharge. And right here, this is one of the horse units that I intercepted. He had these hidden horse units back there, and I was able to catch these guys before they hit my infantry from behind. So it was kind of hard playing this battle just because I had to keep my camera zoomed in. Otherwise, I couldn't see because of the tall trees there. So I was playing this game from this view, which is kind of cool because you can see your units up close. But yeah, my guys are holding the line right now, and I'm just keeping my horses back there waiting to charge when they have to. So it's a very big mess right now. And here it is. I think the situation got desperate on my right flank, so I'm sending in my horse squadrons to charge into those green units attacking my guys, because you can see that his guys are actually pushing my committed tenses on my right flank. And that, by the way, is my general unit. You can see my general wearing the purple cape. So I'm launching cavalry after cavalry squadron to countercharge into his infantry right there. I'm going to pull them out quickly though, because those units I'm charging, they're good for taking down horses. So I'm just going to charge and just get out of there as fast as I can. But you can see already there's a huge gap opening in his line. But I'm not gonna rush into that gap, because you can see he has horse squadrons waiting in reserve to attack my guys if they go into that open gap. So I'm gonna try to pull his reserves out of there without going to the gap. And once I force my opponent to commit his reserves, then I can rush my troops into that opening, and from then on it'll be game over for the Western Roman rebels. But yeah, I've got more committed tenses back there. I'm just gonna pour on the pressure. And here you can see me, I'm still launching my my charges into his infantry, and finally I break one of his infantry units. So at big money, the troops do last a little bit longer, just because you can afford all the experience, in addition to all the attack and defense upgrades. So here's our guys creeping forward. And you can see right here, I'm finally breaking into that opening without exposing myself to those to his cavalry reserves. But his infantry on my right flank is getting outflanked now. So it's at this time that my opponent should feel the pressure, and he should commit his horses. And you can see he is finally committing his reserves, but probably in the wrong section. He should be reinforcing his left flank, which is opposite my right. But that said, that's still a good thing for me, because now I can start pouring troops into the opening. But right now you can see that the sheer power of my infantry is finally just ripping his guys apart. And I think that's the price he paid for taking those carriage ballistas and those archers. And you see that cavalry charge by his Imperial German bodyguard, that's his general unit. That is the last of his reserves. So that opening that I was talking about for so long, I can finally completely exploit it now. But my cataphracts are holding the line against his general unit right there. Alright, so what's going on here? I've got infantry inside the gap right now, but they haven't poured through it as I've been talking about. But I think you're going to see me push forward with my infantry very soon. Alright, here I'm pulling my general unit out. And that's kind of interesting. We had both of our general units going at it with each other right there. But the reason why I'm pulling my general back is I'm trying to force the gap to open a little bit bigger. Because by pulling out, it's going to force his troops forward. Alright, here's my infantry. And here I'm getting to the gap right there. And I'm going to attack his carriage ballistas first, and then I'm going to swing back and attack his center formation of infantry and cavalry. So here we are, here's my guys. the first ones through the breach. And we're going to start tearing down these carriage ballistas. A very useless unit, I think, in big money. They look cool though. But just before I can swing my guys to flank his units, my guys finally kill his general, and by losing his general, you can see this huge mass rout of his Western Roman rebels. So after all that time planning my breakthrough through that gap, it's the death of his general that causes my troops to win the battle. Anyway, the entire battle was probably close to 30 minutes long, so I did a lot of editing, but it was a clear victory. Hope you guys enjoyed.